One day Walter Winchell wrote about me in his column. "Attention, Mr. and Mrs. America." There's a kid, on the West Coast. It was a glowing review and a big column to be in, widely read. Well, there was an agent in Hollywood who read it, called me up and said, "I want to come down to see you." Walter Winchell says, "You're great." I said, "Well, okay, fine." So I met him at the airport. His name was Max Arno. Max Arno. It sounds like a Hollywood agent, GAC. And went to the airport, picked him up, and brought him back, showed him clips and everything, and he told me to lose 5 pounds and he'd be in touch. So he has his young agents in a meeting. Just saw a kid in San Diego. He's going to be a star, this kid, but we got to get him going. So he, talking about me, and the young agents hear him, and there was a young agent who was assigned to the Steve Allen show. Steve was then doing a show in Hollywood and on Vine Street, Steve Allen Playhouse, and he was leaving. And so across the street was a bar where everybody used to congregate after the show. And my agent was over there telling a guy about me at the bar. And the executive producer of the Allen show was overhearing him. He knew Steve was leaving, so he wrote down in the palm of his hand the name of the agent. And the next day he called him and said, I heard you were talking about this guy in San Diego. Yes, I'd like to see him. They came down, they saw me, and I got the job. For the first syndicated show I did, I was going to Hollywood, I was going back, right in the same area where I lived at a little Brevoort hotel for $12 a week. Right across the street, as a matter of fact, was the Steve Allen Playhouse. And I couldn't believe it. And I was live in San Diego, and I had produced it myself. And suddenly I was thrown into Hollywood with associate producers and writers, Stan Burns and Mike Malma, two terrific, great writers for Steve. But I didn't know how to tell a joke. That wasn't me. I would just tell you a funny story about what I had done, who I had seen, but jokes were different. Well, that's what they wanted me to do, but they were on a 2-week tape delay. So if I told everybody how I saw the Academy Awards last night, it'd be on 2 weeks later. So I was trapped, and I simply could not handle it. And show went off. So I was out of work again, and went back to San Diego and continued my late night show on Saturday. I would drive into San Diego on Saturday, drive out on Sunday, do the 90-minute show, and that's the way it was.